Hi, everybody, and welcome to Good Day Arlington on NBC Sports Chicago. I'm Alyssa Ali, alongside a very familiar face to Chicago fans, Coach Joel Quenneville. Joel filling in for Howard Sudbury, who's a little bit under the weather today. Coach, thanks for filling in.
It's great to be here. Great day.
I'm excited to have you today. First race at 120. It's Champions Day at Arlington. 9 races on today's card. Have you started handicapping?
Yeah, I did my homework a little bit yesterday. Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you're tough, though.
I'm pretty tough. We're going to put you to the test later on in the show. Coach, we sometimes do a segment here on Good Day Arlington called Blinkers Off. As you know, blinkers and equipment that we use in horse racing. You take them off, which in our mind here means we're just going to, loosen up. We'll talk about some random questions, say whatever's on your mind. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions, kind of rapid fire questions to get to know you. So that way it's not just one topic, it's many topics. Say what's on your mind and tell us the answer. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. What job would you be terrible at?
A jockey.
That is a great one. When was the last time you climbed a tree?
It's got to be 40, 50 years ago.
Okay. Would you do it again? Would you do it now?
If I had to go get something,
okay.
Yeah.
Would you go save a cat in a tree?
Sure.
Okay, good. What is the most annoying habit that other people have?
Annoying habit. Being late.
That's a good one. What would be your ideal way to spend the weekend?
There's nothing wrong with going to the racetrack.
I was
nice air conditioned.
Nice.
I was hoping, like right here at Arlington. That's a pretty good setup.
I was hoping you were going to say that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How about this one? What is the most annoying question that people ask you? And I hope that it's not next on my list, but what's the most annoying question?
This question particularly. I don't know. Everybody's has a different approach when they're asking you questions in the media after, and it's, sometimes you can say, okay, that wasn't very smart, and you answer it anyways, and you don't handicap it at that time.
There you go. Would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
Probably would like to rather read minds.
Yeah. Read your players' minds?
I kind of got a pretty good idea.
How many games will the Chicago Bears win this season?
Oh, I'm going to hope at least 9.
All right. And how long have you had the mustache?
Well, for probably 40 years plus now. 40 years, yeah.
I think the mustache actually has its own Twitter handle. Did you know that?
Yeah. And
are you affiliated with it at all?
No, I have nothing to do with it. I met the guy there.
Did you really?
Yeah, he's pretty, I guess everybody has a good time with him. He's pretty current. And
That's
he's on top of things, but
all right.
I haven't heard the latest, but
well, a nice plug
the kids fill me in once in a while.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Thanks for playing along. I appreciate it. Today, as I mentioned, Joel, is Champions Day here at Arlington. Our first race at 120. We're going to be showing a lot of amazing trophies, including both World Series trophies from the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. And we're going to talk milestones as well. Tell us about the biggest career milestone that you are so proud of in your personal career.
Well, I think winning a championship and trying to get through that run and then winning it 3 times here in Chicago, the playoff runs and winning the cup is what it's all about. Yeah. To me, that's a milestone in its own right when you win one of them, because it's a hard thing to do. And now that we've been away from it for a few years now, and you certainly have a lot of respect for the challenges that you have to go through and how difficult and how meaningful it was. But it certainly looks good looking at it over there. But I'm sure they're having a good time with it right now in Washington.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we were talking last week, you and I were talking a little bit about Justify winning the Triple Crown. I mean, what is that kind of looking at horses, like you're just saying with winning the Stanley Cup in a couple of years at once? American Pharoah, we were waiting for 37 years. Then Justify comes back and does it in 4. What were your thoughts on the Triple Crown and watching that bid?
Unbelievable. I know he did something, first of all, nobody did it without racing as a 2-year-old. So he wins that, and he won 3 and 4 races in about 2 months' time, which is almost impossible. Most horses get 6 weeks, 5 weeks off in between. So he took away all the bounce factors and everybody ganging up in big fields. Unbelievable horse, and he's spectacular looking specimen. When you look at him, he's freaky in that regard, but he's done something nobody's ever going to be able to do again. Compressed in all those races in that amount of time and winning all 5 is it's pretty amazing. Got to give Bob Baffert all the credit in the world, because he's a special trainer, and he knows horses and he knows how to get them ready on big days. And what he did with that horse was amazing. Yeah,
I was just hoping to see 1 in a lifetime, and now I've seen 2. All right, let's check in with Howard Sudbury now for a look back at milestones hit here at Arlington.
When Arlington opened its doors in 1927, it was described as one of the world's finest race courses. It has lived up to that reputation, and so many racing milestones have happened right here over the years. A record that has stood the test of time was the sizzling mile of Dr. Fager in 1968.
No, Dr. Fager drawing out by 4 lengths, racing room info.
He broke the mile record for a dirt course in the time of 1 minute 32.1 seconds, winning by 10 lengths, carrying a staggering 134 pounds, leaving track announcer Phil Georgieff to simply say, wow. Arlington has seen the remarkable regularly throughout the years. In 1989, there was a day that Hall of Fame jockey Pat Day will never forget, and neither will those that were here.
Yeah, we had a very special day there in September of '89 when muddy, sloppy, rainy day at Arlington Park, but we won 8 out of 9 races that day. Incredibly special memory.
Skip ahead to 1996. A horse named Cigar went on a roll and continued winning and winning and winning. And on July 13th, in the Arlington Citation Challenge, he again visited the winner's circle, tying the immortal citations mark of 16 consecutive wins. There have been recent milestones. This year, jockeys Carlos Marquez and Julio Felix both reached the 3,000 victory mark. And when trainer Chris Block won the Purple Violet with Stroll in the Bayou, he tied Hall of Fame trainer Harry Trotzik with 44 stakes wins at Arlington. One milestone is unforgettable. In the long history of the Arlington Million, an Illinois bred had never won until 2015, when the Pizza Man made his dramatic and historic run to the wire.
The Pizza Man finishing now. Big Blue Kitten charging on the outside. The Pizza Man has taken the lead. The Pizza Man on the outside. Big Blue Kitten. Chicago's about to erupt. The Illinois bred. The Pizza Man just won the Arlington Million under Florent Giroux.
All right, so thanks to Howard Sudbury for putting that piece together. It's fun to look back. I noticed Pat Day when he won 8, and he did 5 and 3 instead of why would you not just go 4 and 4? We should ask Pat that. But Coach, we saw 2 jockeys already this meet hitting that 3,000 milestone. How hard do you think that is? You know, being an athlete yourself and a coach, you know, what an accomplishment that really is.
It really is. I think out of all the sports and all the athletes that are out there, I think the most difficult athlete or the most difficult challenge on any kind of an athlete is what jockeys go through and have to win and sustaining it over time and in these tight spots and what they have to go through, and a lot of them go down and it's you hold your breath. Hopefully they're all right, but some have some difficulties, and but I got a lot of respect for what and how tough those guys are and how demanding that job is, and you know how competitive it is. You know, you only get one winner in a race, and you got a lot of horses sometimes, but it's you know, the best jockeys, it's amazing how smart they are and how they can handicap the horse and themselves. But I give them a lot of credit and have a ton of appreciation for the athleticism and the minds that go through what jockeys head.
Yeah, they definitely got it done. Let's take a look, though, at some more Chicago sports here as we check in with the ESPN 1000's Fred Hubner.
Home runs told the story for the Cubs and the White Sox on Friday. The Cubs hit 4. The White Sox allowed 5. At a toasty Wrigley Field, the Cubs came back from a 5-2 deficit. They beat the Twins 10-6. Addison Russell a grand slam, Jason Hayward and Ben Zobrist with 2-run homers, and Kyle Schwarber hit one that ended up high in the center field bleachers. Mike Montgomery allowed 5 runs but picked up the win. Tyler Chatwood goes today at 120. In Texas, the Rangers belted 4 home runs off White Sox starter Dylan Covey, who allowed 9 runs over 2 1/3 innings. Texas beat the Southsiders 11-3. Sox held to just 5 hits. Carlos Rodon starts tonight at 8:05. WNBA, Diamond DeShields with 22. The Chicago Sky beat the New York Liberty 103-99. Soccer, the World Cup begins the knockout stage. Argentina against France and Uruguay taking on Portugal. And the Chicago Fire in action. They host NYCFC at Toyota Park at 7 o'clock. From the ESPN 1000 Sports Desk, I'm Fred Hubner.
All right, a big thanks to Fred. Coach, I don't know if you've ever wanted to be a meteorologist, but I'm going to make your dream come true today. If you could please tell us what the weather in Chicagoland is.
Oh, what a privilege
today.
today.
The floor is yours.
All right.
The couch
well,
is yours.
We know it's sunny, hot as hell, and humid. High near 95. winds south-southwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour.
That was fantastic. The studio audience absolutely loved it. So my theory is, though, folks, stay hydrated. Obviously, 1 beer, 1 water. 1 beer, 1 water. That's how you do it here at the races today. Coach, we want to talk about Twitter here. We want to have some feedback from those watching. Tweet at Arlington_Park what your horse champion name would be. Don't just make it up, though. We're going to have a little formula here. Date of birth is your first name. The month of birth is your second name. So I think we did it here. Mine is Jade Summer. Not going to be naming a horse that anytime soon. And yours is, what was it again? Jasmine Rose.
Jasmine Rose, yeah.
Do you like that?
It's okay.
I think it's just okay. They kind of sound a little bit more like stage names than horse names. But you can also enter to win by visiting arlingtonpark.com/GDA. You can enter to win some Hungry as a Horse VIP tickets for our Food Truck Festival at Arlington on July 7th. The Food Truck Festival is one of many things to do here at Arlington. As for this Sunday's fireworks show, though, there are some tickets still available to experience fireworks night at Arlington. You can visit arlingtonpark.com. All right, Coach, we got through the first block of the show. We're going to toss to our first break right now. This portion of Good Day Arlington is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka, the preferred vodka of Arlington International. And coming up next, we, of course, talk more with you, Coach, but also we welcome a very, very special guest, Todd Ricketts, co-owner of the Chicago Cubs. Take a look at those trophies. It's Champions Day at Arlington. Well, back now on Good Day Arlington on NBC Sports Chicago, joined by co-owner of the Chicago Cubs now, Todd Ricketts. Todd, thank you so much for joining us.
No, thanks for being here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
happy to be here.
We're so excited. We're talking about the trophies that are on site today, Champions Day at Arlington, and this is so unique because we're going to have the Cubs World Series trophy and also the Chicago White Sox World Series trophy. How cool is that for fans, right?
I think it's really great. You know, it just shows that there's so many winning teams here in Chicago, and it's a great sports town. We're lucky we have such great fans, and happy to bring back championships for them. Problem is, Joel, what he does is he wins so many championships. There's all these 12-year-old kids in Chicago who just think you win the Stanley Cup every other year, no matter what you do. So hopefully you can keep that going.
You're making it hard on everybody.
Yeah.
It's been, you watch other teams and you don't participate in the playoffs like we did this year. It certainly gets your attention. But
Yeah, exactly.
We've been spoiled for a while, but we certainly like to get back in the winning ways.
Both of you have been to Arlington with your trophies that you've won. The Stanley Cup you brought to Arlington. Todd, last year you were actually part of our opening ceremonies with the World Series trophy. What does that mean to you when you bring it to places, but really bring it to Arlington and the fans that are here that just appreciate both of your sports?
Well, from my point of view, I love bringing the trophy everywhere, and I wear my World Series ring just so people can borrow it and put it on and take pictures with it, because really, it's all about the fans. Without fans, we don't have sport. We don't have any of these great stories, and so for me, it felt good to be able to deliver a World Series trophy to a city that loves their team so much and loves the Cubs so much. It was just a good vibe.
Yeah. How about you, Coach, when you brought the cup?
It's always great bringing the cup anywhere, especially when people haven't seen the cup and for the first time, and whether they get a chance to touch it, take a picture with it, or see it. It brings an amazing buzz or thrill to anybody. And coming here, you got horse and hockey. I think there's a lot of people that are involved in both sports, and I think both have an appreciation and to how important and how much fun each sport is, and then and the thrill of winning a championship and participating here. And it's been fun coming here, watching Arlington Million Day and being a part of that kind of a day, and seeing that trophy presented is kind of cool as well.
Yeah.
But I love sharing the cup. Unfortunately, you don't get to do it all the time, but it's been around here, and I think people enjoy it.
They absolutely do. Todd, talking about the World Series win, just how gratifying was that, and really how much work went into it from your guys' end as well, just, making that happen, and just after 108 years?
Well, I think that when we purchased the team, we knew we were going to win a World Series, and it's just a matter of getting the people in place and the plan in place. And I think I was thinking there's a couple benchmarks that of our kind of shift from where the Cubs were for the last century to where we are today. There was a game in July of 2014, and we had a terrible year in 2014. We were 13 games under 500. We had a 6-game losing streak, and Aroldis Chapman threw a couple balls at Nate Sherhold's head. I think they just got away from him. I don't think it was intentional, because it was a 4-4 game in the ninth. But Rizzo took offense to that. The bench is cleared, and I think coming out of that game, we stopped being the lovable losers. That was when our guys put the world on notice that we were not going to be pushed around any longer, and that we were going to start being a real team. And then I think the second one was when we got into the playoffs in 2015, we lost to the Mets. I think that the day, it was October 22nd, it was the day after we had lost and been eliminated. I got up, got my kids to school, went to my office, sat down in my chair, and I pushed my chair away from my desk, and I put my head in my hands, and I cried for about 20 minutes. And I know that everybody in our organization did that. The players, everybody in the organization, that baseball operations, ticketing. But when we were done, we knew we were going to win the World Series in 16. There was a mindset and a determination that never wavered from that moment forward.
That is amazing.
Good story.
Yeah. What are your hopes then and expectations for the team moving forward?
Well, we have the best team in baseball right now. I mean, we haven't proven it every day on the field, but I feel like we have the best talent. We have the best group of guys. My expectation is for us to be in the hunt, if not win the World Series this year. And really, it goes back to that mindset of having this determination that you're going to do it no matter what. And we haven't shown that on the field, but I know that at some point on our team, that's going to click, and then they're going to start cranking out wins, and we're going to look like the team that we are.
All right, Q, let's talk about your upcoming season. What changes could we expect to see, or, what are your thoughts going into your season?
Well, we're coming off something we haven't experienced since we've been here, and I think that it certainly got our attention. We want to get back to being a playoff team, and we feel that we have the capabilities once we're in the playoffs to be a champion. So it's a lot to get back to and prove this year. We feel that this offseason got our top guys, got their attention. We're right in this period right now with free agency. The next day or so we get to, I think we've been involved with this 3 or 4 or 5 guys that we've been talking to, and hopefully we can add some experience and some grit and some character, and get a little bit something missing in our team that we need, and add that element. But we know how fortunate guys coming in here, and then having free agents. Think of coming in here in Chicago. I think we got an advantage knowing it's a special place and great fans, and some guys have proven that their leadership it's fun being around them as well. So it's hopefully that can add to some of these guys making that decision to come to Chicago.
Yeah, you know, Coach and Todd, I really think this is kind of a unique opportunity that both of you are sitting on this couch, and I'm gonna, go get some coffee or something. But you guys, why don't you interview each other? Because I mean, we could be going down in history on Good Day Arlington for that happening. Coach Q, head coach Chicago Blackhawks, Todd Ricketts, going to the Chicago Cubs. What questions would you have for each other?
Well, I saw Todd this morning, and I was thinking, they just came back, from playing the Dodgers out west, and they came home yesterday, and in hockey, I always find that the toughest game back is that first game back from a Western road trip. And we try a million different things to get the team where we're going to be fine, but you just lose that edge.
Yeah, I think when those guys fly back, they get home like at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they have to go get a few hours of sleep and be back at the ballpark. And it's hard to be sharp. It's the grind of baseball, and hockey is kind of the same way. You're playing so many games, and so where each individual game does not necessarily exhaust you, 162 games does get a little tiring, and I can't sleep in hotel rooms. I don't know how the guys do it.
Right.
A lot of Ambien along the way somewhere.
A couple beers.
A couple of beers and a little bit of Ambien, yeah.
You know that. Todd, would you have a question for Coach at all?
Well, I always think about like the beginning, like back when Taze and Kane got here, like how did you know those guys were champions? Like, did you have that mindset like there's no way that we're not going to win?
I was the luckiest guy in the world when I came in here with the Blackhawks, going in 11 years now. And, Taze was already the captain. Kaner was already a top player.
Yeah.
And these guys were great leaders. They want to be great every time they step on the ice. They make their teammates better. They say the right thing. They do the right things. They just represent the Blackhawks organization in a way that you can't help but win with these guys around. And I think there was a lot of depth around them and a lot of young guys. And but these guys, as a coach, you couldn't ask for better leaders representing what your message is and how you want your team to play and how you'd want to, how to represent the franchise in the city. And they just, and today, I look back at where they're at and where we're at today. They're still got a lot of good hockey in them, and we're going to need these guys to be effective again going forward this year.
I mean, they were really kids. Those guys, they would come to Cubs games when we first bought the team, and I'd look at these guys. I'm like, these guys are in high school, I think.
We had a whole group of them there. It's like, they're all single. We had about 10 to a dozen guys at least that were all in that. Just getting settled in the NHL. They're young, no families, and now they've got some wives and kids, and it's matured to a different level.
Watching them grow up.
Absolutely. But, those were the days. It was a fun team.
It was. Todd, thank you so much for joining
thanks for
us.
having
This is
me
great. Good Day Arlington here on NBC Sports Chicago. We're going to take another short break here on Good Day Arlington, and this is brought to you by International Hair Designs. They're a full-color salon and can take care of the whole family. International Hair Designs in Lake Zurich. We also thank those first out of the gate, EMT, fire, police, and military at Arlington on July 8th for First Responders Day. Coming up next, the Quenneville and Ali Champions Day Challenge. Well, back now on Good Day Arlington on NBC Sports Chicago again. Coach Q filling in for Howard Sudbury today was just a little bit under the weather. Coach, I'm a little bit nervous for this next part because you are a fantastic handicapper. You love the races, you study, so we're calling this the Champions Day Quenneville Ali Champions Challenge. And we're going to pick one race, and we're going to pick race number 6. So we did it. We talked about picking race number 6. It's a nice race, an allowance race, going 5 furlongs on the main track today. Again, folks, come and join us at Arlington, our first race at 1:20. Gates open at noon. I'll start with you. It's a full field, pre-scratches. Who did you land on?
I was debating between the 1 and the 4, and I went with the 4 horse.
Okay.
Cast iron. There's a lot of inside. There's some speed in the race. I always like taking horses that have prices to them, and I was debating on one of the four, and one of the four.
All right, and I was watching that horse, 2 weeks ago, and he was just a hard knocker. So I don't want you to win this one because it's a challenge, but definitely a good pick. I'm going to Let's Go Micken here. Roger Brueggemann trained, Midwest Thoroughbred owned horse in here, making it his 4th career start. Synthetic surface debut. Question mark, obviously, but I kind of like watching that, right? If you had some turf form, sometimes it can translate to the synthetic surface as well. So race number 6, you heard it right here on Good Day Arlington. My pick, Coach Q's pick here today. Coach, we have a lot of stuff going on always at Arlington. A look at next weekend, though. A big, big weekend ahead of us. Obviously, this weekend, fireworks are tomorrow, but we're going to have our Friday party in the park, as we do every Friday, sponsored by Miller Lite. And then it's going to be the Food Truck Festival as well on Ride to the Million, presented by Miller Lite. That's Saturday. You get your Hungry as a Horse VIP ticket for that. And then on July 8th, that's Sunday. It's First Responders Day. We thank our local heroes, EMT, fire, police, and military. Again, that's coming up on Sunday, July 8th. Coach, we were just talking about Arlington just being so unique in the events that we put on. I think we're very different than other racetracks throughout the country. It
really is. Every day there's something going on here, and whether it's Party in the Park on a Friday, today, Champions Day, fireworks tomorrow, and it seems like it's every single time you come to the track here. Father's Day, we're here the other day, and there's always something going on. I commend the whole department here, and whether it's marketing department, the whole staff here. It's a tremendous facility. It's as good as there is in the business. And when you come here, there's always something fun to do, and besides betting horses.
It's a one-of-a-kind experience for sure. Are you going to hang out today for Champions Day?
Yeah, we're going to look for some winners here, and a lot of racing around the world today. It's a fun day.
I have a question for you, though. Being a coach and then obviously being a former athlete as well, who do you think has the harder job, the racehorse trainer or the jockey?
Oh, the trainers got endless hours, and the jockeys, but the jockeys put their lives on the line when they get on that horse and put themselves in some tough spots. So that's a tough job.
It absolutely is. And as we're talking about the championship challenge, I love the horse that you picked. Real quick before we end, what's your biggest handicapping angle that you would want to maybe share with folks that are handicapping for the first time or trying to get into it? What do you look for first?
You said blinkers off at the beginning of the show. That's an angle. I like reading the sheets. I like looking for value. Every race sits up differently. Surfaces, distances, first time, trainers, jockeys. There's so many different variables. The weather. So it's and I like big fields, so you get some value. And I definitely looking for horses that have a price to them. And there's. That's something I look for.
Yeah, those are great tips again. Coach Q, a great handicapper, a great friend, a great coach, a great ambassador for hockey and horses and horse racing here at Arlington. Coach, thank you so much for filling in today.
My pleasure. Thanks.
We appreciate it. That does it for us here on Good Day Arlington on NBC Sports Chicago. Join us next Saturday, 11 a.m.